Oh, boy.
So there's a report out today. Every day there's more census information coming out.
Yeah.
The 2010 census comes out, and that one was especially good because then they've got a decade to look at. We like round numbers. So we're more excited about looking at 2010 to 2000 than we are 1998 to 1988 for some reason.
Well, that would be stupid. That would be meaningless.
Because we like round numbers. But
that's not a decade.
Right. So we get these decade-ending numbers coming out, and they're coming out every single day. And the latest is demographic for children. Major change in the demographic for children.
The overwhelming percentage of children are young.
They are. And little. Not very tall. Hispanics now comprise 23% of children. It was 12% in 1990.
Wow.
It's doubled. White, 54%. It was 70% in 1990.
Wow.
And in a couple of years, and for some reason this MFing report doesn't have it, the other one I read earlier that I can't find did, gives the actual date. But I mean, it's like in a couple of years. I don't mean, project them in 2040. No, it's like in 2017 or something. Like it's just a couple of years.
Right.
You'll be paying off your car at the time this happens.
Well, this was all caused by the Great Awakening of 2007 when Hispanic people realized how to have sexual intercourse. And white people forgot how.
Right, not unfettered illegal immigration.
No. Hispanic people just realized, that whole coitus thing, it's pleasurable and results in a child.
Which is, by the way, never mentioned in this, and I suppose it's not the job of the Census Department to tell you why this happened. But
any journalist, though, reporting on it or crafting a story based upon it, though,
the journalist,
I would say is absolutely required.
Major demographic changes in a country. Why did they happen? And did you want it to happen?
Or did it deliberate national policy? Yeah.
Pat Buchanan says it's the greatest migration of people in modern world history. I'm sure it is. Because you can't migrate in modern world history. No other country would let you do this. No other country allows people to go from one area of the planet to another area of the planet. You have to fill out forms and stuff. But anyway, that aside. In just a couple of years, for kids, whites will be less than 50%, so they'll be a minority along with everyone else. And then you go a few years longer down the road, if things keep up, there'll be more Hispanics kids than white kids.
Yeah.
My son Sam is going to be a minority.
Right. Is he going to march in the streets and demand his rights?
Well, that's what I wonder. I wonder at what point the segment of society that roots for minorities, roots for everybody that's not white.
Right.
Will change that, or will feel like they ought to change that. When will the media stop pretending or stop acting like it's a good deal that this colored skin is growing in population and power and this colored skin is shrinking in population and power?
Right.
At what point?
Based on nothing.
Based on nothing. But I think we all have, because it's been beaten into us so much, a little bit of it's wrong that white people are so... There's so many of them, and they hold so many positions of power.
Yeah, what happened there?
But soon,
how did they get so many white people?
But soon, say in 20 years...
Did they steal black people and make them white?
What I just wonder, though, because...
we need redistribution of skin pigment.
Right. But so what I wonder is, in a few years, when there are more Hispanics... Then there are more brown people than white people, and more brown people in positions of power, whatever, than white people. Do you still root for the brown people, or do you then start rooting for the white people with the assumption that everything is good about growth in population and power for white people and bad for brown people? Or will it just be that way forever?
Well, I would say it depends on how strong the psychosis is of the reporter or commentator that we're talking about, how crazed they are with this weird liberal white guilt. And the other thing is that as long as there is a single statistic by which you can demonstrate that whitey's got it good, look at per capita income. I mean, if there's any statistic upon which to base the idea that white people have it too good, there'll still be victim politics because it gets you power. But so the answer to your question is probably not. No, white people are never going to get the benefit of the doubt as just people. No, and the identity politics will continue because it's not about justice. It's about power. The only reason we weren't talking about Hispanic people all the time, well, there are quite a bit fewer of them, but is because people didn't see it as any different. so 3 generations ago, your parents came from Venezuela. Why do I give a crap? You're not a minority. You're just a guy. You're an American. You're a woman, whatever. But now the identity politics are so whipped up. Now it's a thing.
Yeah, I don't care about the skin color thing. I wish I were brown. I think it'd be awesome. Just the whole tan thing. Be very cool.
You'd be less blotchy.
Like
white people tend to get blotchy. It's a terrible burden.
Like poor little Sam. I think he got from me and from my mom's side that settled South Dakota. I mean, the whitest people on earth. You're Norwegians and Swedes.
Translucent.
Yeah, he's that.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be great to be brown. The trouble, of course, that I have is the whole. Why do so many people speak Spanish and apparently intend to continue to speak Spanish? And then we're just going to change the country to where everything speaks Spanish. That is terrible and awful and will ruin the country.
Well, it's just because people snuck in by the millions and don't consider themselves Americans.
So I was all excited. I was thinking
it's nothing harmful.
Sam's going to be up for all kinds of scholarships and whatnot by the time he's ready for college. You're thinking that won't be the case because there'll be statistics that show...
Well, yeah, there'll be some basis upon which to deny him that. Yeah, I'm sure. It'll take generations before that goes away, if it ever does.
But doesn't that point out the ridiculousness of it? Because at some point, when one color passes the other color, you should start rooting for the color that's less now, for them to grow in power, and root against the color that's got the most, because that's what we've been doing now for years.
Here's my question, though. It is absolutely strict verboten, and Aryan language used intentionally, by the way, to claim any sort of pride in Northern European heritage, because that's code for being a neo-Nazi.
Nazi Germany.
If you must, Michael. It's code for being a neo-Nazi or a white supremacist.
When will that change, for instance?
You can have every ethnicity in the country have a big pride day and a parade and a group and a club and have their dances and their wacky costumes, unless you're of European heritage.
When Sam's in high school and there are as many Hispanic kids in America as there are white kids in America, will you be able to have up with white kids groups in high school?
Yeah. Actually, I stated what I stated very badly because I'm sleepy-headed. You can celebrate your Irish heritage, your Italian heritage, whatever, but you can't celebrate just kind of a blanket white people thing. I mean, Hispanic is a ridiculous term. It is laughable. It's Venezuelans and Spaniards and what's the little country, Portugal next to Spain? You can be Mexican, you can be Guatemalan, you can be a mestizo, you can be an Indian from the south of Mexico, and everybody's, quote, Hispanic. What is that? What is that? You kind of come from a place where they kind of speak Spanish?
Well, I also
wonder, they speak Portuguese.
I also wonder, they got these pictures on here, little white kids and little brown kids and little black kids, because they like the whole diversity thing. Okay, so what if 30 years from now, 90% of the country is Hispanic? Would you be against that because it's not diverse enough? Or would you think that's a great thing?
Well, no. Diversity means more people like me.
Right. That's just... I think
when people say diversity, they mean more people like me.
I think we're going to be wrestling with those things sooner than you think, especially given these census numbers for kids.
Yeah, right.
It'll be exciting to watch.
If you got some white
how does that work?
Friends,
how do you clap? I don't know how to clap.
They'll be clapping like this, y'all.
By the way, I was with a predominantly white crowd the other day, clapping on the backbeat. Sure as hell. Racism out of the Reverend right. We know how to clap, Reverend.
You are listening to the Armstrong and Getty Show.